They're just standing there, waiting for us. I'm sitting here in the stockroom of my local grocery store as I write this story, in hopes of somebody out there sending help. Because you see, I, along with 10 other people, have been trapped inside this grocery store for several days, unable to escape from them. Who's them, you ask? Well, let me start from the beginning. As all of you know, we are on a total lockdown due to the recent pandemic. And you also know, thousands of us Americans were laid off their jobs, including me. The exact origin of the outbreak was unknown, but theories were boundless, from animals escaping a test lab to the government deliberately releasing it into the population for crowd control. But one thing was certain: the outbreak began 6 months ago, and so far what we know is that people who have caught this dreaded disease and appear symptomatic usually display symptoms like fever, coughing, runny nose, body aches, breathing difficulties, and something much more sinister. So to avoid contracting it, a worldwide quarantine was ordered. So I and a billion other people stayed at home, only leaving for essential items. Well, it so happened that I ran out of food and toilet paper. As I was driving to my grocery store, I noticed that the streets were completely empty, and it felt like a ghost town. I pulled into the parking lot of the grocery store and noticed it was empty, except for say maybe 15 other cars. I parked my car, got out, and at the time, I didn't notice anything unusual. I entered the store and noticed that it was surprisingly packed, despite the parking lot appearing almost empty. While grabbing the items I needed, I heard these blood-curdling screams. Now, I dropped all of the stuff I had in my hands and quickly ran to the front of the store. Before I realized what was happening, I had already spotted them through the glass windows of the store. There were at least 30 of them just standing there, glassy-eyed and unmoving, staring into the windows. I presumed they were waiting for us to come out. I noticed that they all had a crazed look in their eyes, as several of them were actually foaming at the mouth, reminding me of the infected people in the crazies. They looked disheveled, and the color of their skin was off. One of the store managers tried to make a beeline for his car, but he was attacked and killed upon exiting the store. Of course, this caused panic among the people in the store. While calling for help, we all simultaneously received emergency alerts on our phone, warning us to stay indoors, because it seems that there had been a recent rash of killings by crazed people who were attacking anyone who crosses their path. It's not known if these attacks were related to the recent pandemic. Oh, on a side note, none of us were able to make any calls with our phones, so we were unable to call the police. Anyway, several more brave souls had ventured outside, only to be killed on the spot. Now, we are down to 10 people, and the crowd of crazed people outside appears to be growing in size. And oh, did I mention, the store manager who ventured outside, well, I think he's now standing among them, with the same crazed look in his eyes. Eventually, the rest of us came together and boarded up all the windows and decided it was best to move to the stockroom where it was much safer. We had plenty of food and water, so we'll be okay for several months. This morning, though, we received another emergency alert on our phones, warning us not to drink the water, because it's contaminated too. About an hour ago, I noticed one of the cashiers acting strange. I am not going to tell the others, for fear of scaring them, so for now, I'll keep a close eye on him. Anyway, if anybody out there reads my story, please, please send help.